There's been no shortage of hand-wringing about the new Dante's jaunty hairdo, but deep down, we've always suspected that Ninja Theory's Devil May Cry reboot would sink or swim on the strength of its gameplay. Given the amount of baggage any game bearing the title is expected to haul, this reimagining certainly has its work cut out for it. Is there more to the new Devil May Cry than its rakish good looks?
Bad day for a hangover.
Salt, shark oil, iron shavings, desiccated squirrel semen, wolf hair.
Good stuff.
Forget the often lovable pizza-scarfing goof that starred in the series' previous incarnation. DMC's Dante is a potty-mouthed bad boy that's way too cool for school. Though wouldn't you know it, the slightly more demonic of Sparta's sons has a heart of gold. Mind you, none of this makes the new Dante any more relatable than the old, and that's the point. Ninja Theory's take on the DMC mythology is somewhat more coherent, but you'd never call itself serious. But as a vehicle for Dante to spout put-downs at demons that elicit equal quantities of groans and fist pumps, it succeeds magnificently.
I'm your prime date, you ugly sack of shit.
Mundus, the most powerful demon in existence, is the prototypical one-percenter. By means of his financial empire, media conglomerate, and best-selling soft drink, he keeps humanity indebted, stupid, and unfit. He's also responsible for the murder and imprisonment of Dante's mom and dad, an angel and a demon respectively, and at the game's outset, he's to get Dante. See, Dante is a Nephilim, a product of the coupling of heaven and hell with the power to upset all kinds of cosmically sensitive matters, and Mundus just can't have that. After a narrow escape, Dante's eyes open to the wider world, and fight he must.
How much of your childhood do you remember?
Not much. I had meningitis when I was 7.
DMC's story is funny and well acted overall, told with verve and even a surprising level of earnestness at times. Some of its more serious turns feel somewhat off-tone, but it's hard to stop rooting for this cheeky, insolent demon slayer.
Mundus will delight in me when I deliver his corpse. What do you think, little one? Should we play with him a bit first? Yes, let's.
Shit. Back in limbo.
DMC's contents look straightforward on its face. 20 levels full of collectibles with unlockable difficulty modes and hidden challenge rooms. It's all in the execution. Where most games like it often take the shape of spaced-out combat arenas, DMC succeeds at mixing it up, making its levels feel like real places, albeit ones viewed through Limbo's whacked-out kaleidoscope. Though you progress through them linearly, these places invite exploration with the promise of hidden rooms, challenge arenas, and collectibles enticing you to take that odd fork in the road. The most maze-like among them will demand multiple playthroughs to ferret out their secrets, let alone fine-tune your final rating. As Dante augments his arsenal, you'll gain access to previously unreachable locations in levels you've visited, which is key to maximizing your completion rating. The better you do in a series of categories, the better your marks, which means more upgrade points to improve Dante's abilities and red orbs to spend on items. Your speed rating will surely be in the weeds the first few times through, however, given DMC's tendency to bowl you over with its exuberant level design. The demons that torment Dante have the ability to turn the very fabric of Limbo against him, and the results have you roughing it on a twisted, disfigured vision of the human world that's frequently as ferocious as the monsters that inhabit it.
Your turn, Barbie.
You will do plenty of fighting, of course, and the hordes you're up against only get more varied and maddening as the game lets on, encouraging smart, graceful use of your full range of weapons and abilities. But DMC doesn't let combat carry all the weight. The game's platforming elements, which lean heavy on the grappling and soaring abilities Dante earns early on, do a great job of showcasing Limbo's eerie contours in all their mind-bending, non-Euclidean glory. They are, however, more exhilarating than they are challenging. The same can be said of the boss fights. They are, without a doubt, some of the most creatively conceived parts of DMC, but when you get down to brass tacks, they revolve largely around repetition and pattern recognition. In the majority of cases, they leave little room for the sort of melee artistry that the regular fights demand.
Breaking news, Bob. You're fired.
Capcom is promising a new take on the series' trademark Bloody Palace survival mode as free DLC soon after release. In the meantime, overachievers can busy themselves with a host of difficulty modes, the most challenging of which are sequentially unlocked, as well as scouring the levels for keys to the challenge rooms nestled in their darkest corners.
I don't like the sound of that.
DMC's combat hinges on the duality that makes up Dante's parentage. Once he's fully operational, he's got 2 angelic weapons and 2 demonic weapons on top of his sword, and it's in the interplay between these that he gets his kicks. The angel weapons, a scythe and a pair of throwing stars, lean toward finesse, while the demon ones, an axe and a pair of fighting gauntlets, are all about brute force. Rounding it out are Dante's iconic pistols, a shotgun, and a gun that fires remotely detonated explosives. Playing DMC well involves mixing and matching the weapons and combos to suit your situation and take advantage of their unique properties. The system allows you to seamlessly switch between weapons midstream and effectively mix their movesets, and in the hands of skillful players, the results are dazzling. True to the series' spirit, Dante does much of his best work aloft, and DMC gives you no shortage of tools to remain airborne, including clutch use of grapples or even dirtier tricks like jumping off enemies' heads. The most adept of players will soon master techniques like split-second parries and nick-of-time dodges. Though it's hard to argue the DMC's ceiling for mastery is as high as its predecessors, the combat feels great in its own right. One thing you'll certainly miss during the most hectic fights, however, is the lock-on. When you're dealing with mixed compositions of enemies on the ground and in the air, Dante's aggravating tendency to fire his grapple at precisely the wrong target will have you yanking your hair out, especially if it results in a ding to your style rating.
Fuck you! Fuck you!
Fuck
Now there is a face only a mother could love.
Say what you will about Dante's sartorial choices, it's hard to argue that Ninja Theory doesn't have style. DMC's look is simultaneously familiar and otherworldly, and it isn't afraid to be, at turns, provocative, sexy, and revolting. The sickening monsters stand alongside an unbelievably well-put-together cast of characters, and the world they inhabit somehow emerges as a coherent vision. The level of playfulness around which some of the levels are built will really catch you off guard. Ninja Theory has a definite stamp, and nowhere is it more prominent than in DMC.
Welcome, visitors, to the Virility Factory.
Segue into this!
Ninja Theory has done right by Devil May Cry, delivering a striking game that honors the series' essence while still feeling like the product of a distinct vision. If you can forgive a few excesses, like the pretty but toothless boss fights, you'll find that your old friend hasn't changed all that much on the inside, in spite of his new style. By our estimation, this hard-edged cynicism isn't a bad look for Dante. We just hope he's a little better at aiming on his next go-around.
I'm taking you off the air.
You think so?
See this and other GT shows and game reviews on the GT Originals iOS app, available now on the App Store.